Does winter kill detailing?
Hi, I'm Yvan.
I'm Nick.
DIY Detail Podcast. Today we're going to go into, does winter kill detailing? The answer, in short, is no. But as a detailing entrepreneur, you need to pivot. You need to find different ways of helping your customers out and getting the customers to come to you or go to them if you're a mobile detailer. And as a hobbyist, there are things you can do to help yourself detail in the winter. And one of the things that I just want to start off with, saw a video from Chelsea the other day, so attention to details, where she details her car or washes her car before a snowstorm. And I'd like to add on to that because that's a really great thing to do. If you're a hobbyist, and right now we're recording this days before it's launched, so we're the 27th of January when we're recording this. And I'm in Florida. It's only 30 some degrees out there. It's just above freezing. You're in Utah, it's just above freezing. And the rest of, basically everything east of the Mississippi is frozen in snow, rain, you name it. It's just not a nice temperature out there. And we have, a lot of power outages and things like that. So Chelsea's idea, which I wholeheartedly agree with, is that we keep our cars clean through winter. And I know it sounds like a losing battle because you're going to drive it out in the snow again, or it's going to get snowed on again, et cetera, et cetera. The advantage of doing that is you're reducing the contamination load. So your contamination doesn't have time to build up. You're washing it off. The other thing is, if you have a ceramic coating, and you should have a ceramic coating on your vehicle, it helps to bring that ceramic coating to the surface so that the snow doesn't stick as much. The slush won't stick as much. Your car won't get as dirty. But as soon as you have that little accumulation of dirt on the surface, it just seems to attract more and more and more, and it builds up.
Well, Yvan, you're in Florida for Mobile Tech Expo this week. Detailers in Florida have a nice time of it in the wintertime, and then they have to struggle through those blazing hot temperatures in the summertime. But where I'm at, in these wintry climates where typically you get a lot of snow, for some reason Utah's not getting the snow that everywhere else seems to be getting. It just seems to be really dark days. You don't plan for them. You think you've got enough business, and then inevitably it's a psychological thing. It gets cold, it gets snowy, and demand for detailing just plummets. Like, what is your advice to people out there, whether you're an enthusiast or a pro?
For the enthusiast, it's as simple as find a nice day, get out there and do it, but try to keep your car as clean as possible at all times. That way, you won't have as much problem in the spring. You can concentrate on your interior and other things. For the professional, though, it's finding customers. And finding customers in a snowstorm is a little difficult. Now, if you have a shop, you have an advantage. You can stack up cars outside, get them ready, and your customers, that they have their summer car. Well, they can bring their summer car to you in the winter. You can detail it, take your time, get it done, and ship it back to them on a nicer day. The other thing is really, really focus on maintenance services. And a lot of detailers refuse to wash cars. Oh, I'm not a car wash. I just don't do car washes. Well, if that's what gets you, keeps you busy in the winter, do it. And your customers will appreciate it as well. They can't wash their cars at home because it's too cold, it's snowy, they don't have a garage, whatever. You have a shop. Do it and charge accordingly. The other thing is, in my shops, the most popular service we had in the winter was a wash, clean, seal. People knew that, or we educated people, that they needed to keep their cars cleaner in the winter than they do in the summer. It's more critical in the winter than it is in the summer. In the summer, it's for fun. We want a nice, clean car. But in the fall, have a nice sealant put on there. Or if you have a new car, get it coated. And then from there, keep it clean, keep it decontaminated. That will help your car be so much better in the spring, helps reduce the accumulation of salt and sand on the vehicle, and definitely helps, when you get that load of snow, if your surface is clean, as that snow falls off, it's not going to be scraping grit across your surface.
Should detailers out there who want to detail outside, maybe in their driveway, is it kind of like the sniff test? Like if it smells good, if it feels good, like Do you have to check the thermometer and be like, it has to be over 40 degrees, or if it feels comfortable enough, can I just get out there with my chemicals and detail and not worry about the temperature? Because I know people are going to be like, well, Ivan said it has to be 40 degrees and it's 38, so I better not go, but it's nice and sunny. Like, what are the parameters for just getting out there and detailing, even in the cold, Ivan?
Well, the parameters are, can you do it? For myself, I'm allergic to cold. So if it's below 50, I'm not going out there. But if you're comfortable and your chemicals are not frozen, then yes, you can do it. Now, your chemicals will not perform as well. So just be, conscious of that. Heat is part of a good chemicals reaction. So having that reduced heat, your chemicals won't work as easily, won't work as well. Drying will not be as easy as well. But at the same time, you can get out there and do it. And that is something that, as a hobbyist especially, we have the itch. We want to get out there and do it. So if if you've got a sunny day, the driveway is, you've shoveled the driveway, it's looking clean, then yes, you can do it. Just don't allow your chemicals to freeze, and yourself to freeze for that matter.
What are tips for drying the car? Because folks are just going to be worried about the washing stage, and then it's going to get to the drying stage, and they're going to think, why is this more difficult to dry in the cold? What advice do you have for drying a vehicle in cold temperatures?
You definitely need a good drying aid. And we always say that Rinseless is a good drying aid. In this case, it is not. You need something with a bit of wax or ceramic in it. So Envy is a great drying aid in this temperature, and so C6 Mist. Quick Beads requires the hose, so if it's borderline of freezing, Quick Beads may not be the best answer here. But Envy and Mist are great at breaking up or releasing the surface tension of the water, making it easier to dry.
And then you talked about in the past, you can just run the heat to detail the interior. What does it actually look like? I mean, in what context am I running the heat and doing an interior? Is it in my garage? Is it outside? I mean, common sense should prevail here. You don't want to have a closed garage with your car on. But what would ideal situation look like where you actually are doing the Ivan method there? You're keeping detailing alive even in the cold temperatures.
Right. So yes, for mobile detailers, you can still do interiors. The goal here is, first of all, get the interior nice and warm. So you're going to have to run the vehicle. Not always the best to be idling a vehicle, but hey, sometimes you have to do what you have to do. Get it nice and warm, get yourself nice and comfortable, and you can start with the dash, the windows, the console, the door card, everything you can reach with the doors closed. Then brave the cold a little bit, open the door, vacuum the floor, get that done, finish the door jamb, and then move to the next side and start over again. Warm yourself back up by doing, where you can reach with the doors closed. And then for the last little sprint, open the door and get what you need to get.
What should a professional detailer focus on? I know there's mobile detailers out there, and then there's the gals who just got their first shop last year, and now they're braving a cold winter, and it's not for the faint of heart. What advice do you have for professional detailers in late January, early February? We know spring is coming, but it's just not feeling like it right now.
No, definitely not. First of all, advertising. That is when you need to get your name out in front of customers. They may not think they need detailing. And like I mentioned before, maintenance services. So wash, clean, seal, just basic washing, interior detailing. These are all things that in the middle of winter, people actually still enjoy having done. Now, polishing, ceramic coating, unless they just bought a new car, that may not be a thing at this time of year. But at the same time, like I said, new car purchases, definitely you want to get it as protected as soon as possible. So work on that, get that up and running, get that going. The other aspect that we need to consider is, as a business owner, you should be prepared for these slow times. And what you can do during these slow times as a shop owner is education. And, you mentioned in the beginning, Mobile Tech Expo. That is happening this weekend. If you're a detailer, professional detailer, Mobile Tech Expo is a must. It is something that you should aspire to attend to. And if you're stuck in the nice, cold, warm, or cold, snowy Northeast, coming to Florida might actually be a good thing. Now, this weekend in Florida, it's not exactly going to be hot out there. It's in the 30s and low 40s, so not exactly the best Florida weather, but at the same time, much better than a snowstorm. So there are advantages there if you can get a flight. But that being said, networking in the winter, preparing your advertising, preparing your spring. Every winter we repainted the shop. We made sure that all the tools were in order. Everything was ready for that spring rush. And what we prepared for in the fall, though, was financially. We knew that in the winter we wouldn't be making money. We weren't hemorrhaging money, but at the same time we weren't exactly profitable. But we planned for it because we knew that March to October we were very profitable. So saved up then, getting ready for the winter. Now winter, like you said, almost over. We're beginning of February, Groundhog Day is coming soon. We will have the opportunity to, have the odd nice day come up now in February. February isn't all gloom and doom. There are some nice warm days. The snow melts away and then comes back and then melts away and comes back. Plan with your forecast. If you're a hobbyist, to say, on the weekend it's supposed to be above freezing, I can get out there and do it. As a professional, start advertising. This is when you need to really focus on your customers to say, get your car ready for spring. Plan, if you're one of these detailers that has a long waiting list, remind your customers that you have a long waiting list and that they should be reserving their appointments now with maybe a deposit to help your cash flow.
Yeah, no, I wanted to mention a couple things from my own experience. Teaching often makes you a better doer. So when I started my YouTube channel and I would start teaching people how to detail it, it actually made me a better detailer because I had to crystallize my thoughts into something and then present it. So this might be the time, even if you kind of feel like you're awkward or not that charismatic or you've never done this before, you're cooped up in your garage, maybe start a YouTube channel, maybe start a podcast. Who knows, right? The end goal doesn't have to be grandiose dreams. You might just grow from the discomfort. You might learn something about yourself. You might get better at that process, and then one day it turns into something else. It's nice to learn something new and to try something new, if only to just get that experience. So you could try to start a YouTube channel or some content creation for Instagram. This could be a time to sort of get some of those processes going. And then another thing I think about detailing too is a lot of people get into it. They're not the most business savvy. They're just good at detailing, and they maybe don't have a CRM, customer retention management system. They don't have even a customer list. They just fly by the seat of their pants. I wouldn't know who anyone like that is, but maybe I would. What advice would you have for someone? They've done a bunch of details. They have no list. They have no organization. It might be a time to touch those customers again, right? With a hello, a reminder. How could I do that if I don't have some elaborate system? Where should I start if I'm that detailer?
So if you're that detailer that doesn't have a list, get one, make one. Go through your previous invoices and either build a spreadsheet or get a CRM. CRMs are not expensive. I couldn't imagine running a business without one. We ran our business without a CRM because they didn't exist back then, or if they did, they just weren't really well adapted. Today, there's a lot of really good CRMs for detailers that are adapted, that do the job. And they take a bit of time to learn. This is the time to do it. You don't want to do it when you're in a rush. You don't want to do it when you've got customers waiting. You want to do it when you have the time. So now is the time to do that. Get that CRM up and running. Like you say, be in contact with your customers. It's much, you have a much better ROI contacting existing customers than trying to find new ones.
Well, you've mentored detailers. You've worked with them for decades, really. What are some guerrilla tactics that some have used to try to drum up customers when things weren't looking so good that you might recommend to someone out there who's just, again, in the bleak midwinter trying to get business?
Well, first of all, like we mentioned a couple times, go after your existing customers. Then from there, advertise. And that advertising could be a Facebook advertisement. It could be something, in the newspaper, even if you have a small local newspaper, have a sale. And that sale, for a lot of detailers, when they put something on sale, you have to remember that we're selling a service. We're not selling a product. So as detailers, we're selling a service, and discounting a service is never a good thing, because discounts lead to reducing the value of the service. So at this point, what we need to do is increase the value a little bit by offering something with the service. So instead of saying, our wash, clay, and seal is normally $150, well, we're going to include, instead of saying we're reducing the price, therefore the next time you pay for it, you're going to think, well, if you could do it for $99 last time, why can't you do it for $99 this time? Instead, offer something like a windshield sealant. At this time of year, that's important. So you can add a windshield sealant, or you can give an upgrade to something. So instead of just a sealant on the wheels, instead of just the washing of the wheels, we'll add a sealant to the wheels. Something like that, just to entice the customer to do something a little different.
What do I need to know about washing the underside, the undercarriage of my ride, Ivan? Is it under or overrated? No pun intended.
Both. So a lot of people go overboard, but a good rinse, first of all, is great. We've featured it a couple times. We have a foam cannon that actually has 4 nozzles, extension wad that is designed to go under the vehicle. And those are great. Put something like Incredible Suds, nice and thick, get it on there, let it sit for a few minutes, rinse it off, and then follow up with quick beads, again, through that same foam cannon. That is going to help protect the underside of the vehicle. And you mentioned something a little before, Nick. Your question was a little long, so I forgot this part of it.
Yeah.
You mentioned filming yourself and getting into doing YouTube and stuff like that. That is great. But while you have the camera out, there's another thing you can do. Film yourself actually doing a full detail. Just set the camera up in the corner and film the detail. And then watch it and learn from it. Like a professional athlete, detailers can definitely learn from watching their work and saying, okay, why, let's say doing an interior, why did I get in and out of the car 18 times? What was I looking for that I went away for 5 minutes out of the camera and came back with something in my hand? Why did it take me 5 minutes to find it? Little things like that. And everyone that I have do this exercise always finds efficiencies. They always find a way to get better. So now is the time to do that exercise. As a business owner as well, one thing that a lot of people put off, procrastination is real, and that is standard operating procedures. Now is the time to build those standard operating procedures. They take time to do. They're boring. They're not fun, but they're necessary. And once you have good standard operating procedures, training new employees will be easier. Maintaining your employees' happiness will be easier. Your jobs, your quality will increase. Your efficiency will increase. And overall, your customers will be happier.
It might also be kind of a fun time to teach a family member how to detail, to just kind of practice that teaching so it kind of makes your skill level better. Could be a cousin of yours or a partner or whatever, but just like, I envision teaching someone younger like how to detail in the winter. When you have time and you're kind of cooped up, it's like, if you have a garage, like let me show you how to do this stuff. It's kind of rewarding,
Yeah. And for the hobbyist, you may not have a garage, but you may have a friend that has a garage that isn't into detailing, but they have this beautiful garage just sitting there waiting to be detailed in. Do an exchange of service. I'll detail your car if you let me use your garage to detail my car. And like you said, Nick, it would be a good opportunity to get them into detailing as well. Show them the rabbit hole, how deep it is and how fun it is to go down that rabbit hole.
Is wintertime rinseless wash season, Ivan?
It's always rinseless wash season, but definitely wintertime is a better time for rinseless washing in the sense that you don't have to worry about so much water. You don't have to worry about the foam cannon. If you're detailing in a smaller garage, that foam cannon can be a bit of a hindrance because not only are you foaming the car, but you might be foaming the walls and the tool chest and everything else in the garage. So that's something to look out for. Whereas rinseless, it's a little more contained, a little easier to deal with.
I've been foaming the walls up of this garage. You would not approve, Ivan. But I'm having fun. Foam is fun.
Yeah, yeah, well, if you're cleaning your walls at the same time, that could be a good thing. I know you don't have a lot of, tool chests and things like that in the garage. But someone that has the expensive tool chest, spraying water on it may not be the best alternative.
Totally. Do you want to be using water spot remover to do that mineral cleanse? Do you want to be doing that more in the wintertime because of all the stuff that, the road crews are putting on the road to melt the snow and ice? Yeah,
definitely a mineral cleanse at every wash this time of year is not a bad thing. especially for your wheels. People ignore the wheels during the winter a little more than they do in the summer. Now's the time to do that mineral cleanse before putting something like quick beads on. You want to get the minerals off before sealing them in. So if you want your wheels to stay cleaner longer, do a bit of a mineral cleanse during the winter. That helps. And you don't have to do the whole vehicle. Like you mentioned, it's the sides of the vehicles that get abused by salt. When you're washing, before you rinse, just throw a little water spot remover on there, let it dwell for a few minutes, and then rinse off your vehicle.
What, you're giving me approval to not agitate in water spot remover, Ivan? This is rare.
I'd agitate it as well. But what I'm saying is get it on there, let it dwell, let it do its thing. If you can agitate it, by all means, agitate it, then rinse it away. But you do it to a car that's already clean. Meaning that if you've used rinseless wash, you have the rinseless wash residue on there from the wash, add the water spot remover on top. If you have used soap and water, then you still have your soap residue on there. It's not going to interfere greatly with our water spot remover. Our water spot remover is compatible with both the soap and rinse wash.
So you could actually, usually because we teach, you rinse your soap off, then you decontaminate with iron remover and the decon towel, and then you rinse, and then you put water spot remover on fresh, clean, wet paint. You're saying that you don't need it to be fully clean. It can still have soap residue on there, and the water spot remover still works. Is it not work as well?
Oh, it still works just fine. Basically, what we're trying to get off of the vehicle is traffic film, because the lactic acid doesn't work its way through traffic film very easily. We've removed that traffic film by doing the contact wash. Now all we have on the paint is those minerals, and we want to get those minerals off. Now, of course, if you want to do the iron remover route with the decontamination towel, even better. But we don't always have the time for that. We don't always have the energy, and it requires another rinse cycle. So if you're working in a garage without a drain, every time you rinse the vehicle, that's more work for you and more potential danger. And if you're out in a driveway, same thing. You want to minimize the water usage at this time of year, especially if you're close to freezing temperatures, because we don't want an ice rink on our driveway.
So foam, rinse, contact wash, water spot remover, agitate and rinse. So there's still two rinses there, but not three.
Right.
I like what you're saying, Ivan. I like what you're saying. Detailing in the wintertime. I mean, your average customer is probably thinking, I'm just going to wait until spring. If you could speak to them about why you'd get a detail in January or February, what would the message be?
For interior detailing, we have a lot of bacteria that accumulates during the winter. We're not driving with our windows down, so you have, things aren't clearing out as much. So interior detailing actually becomes more important during the winter. We want to, reduce salt accumulation. If you don't have nice, fully contoured mats and you've got the standard factory mats, you have that line of salt around the mats that accumulates. We want to stop that from building up and becoming a big crust. The sooner we get it out, the better. Also, drying out the interior. People that don't, remove the snow from their boots and just put their shoes inside the car with snow on them, it, melts. Then the floor mat gets wet. Then the floor gets wet. The carpet gets wet. Give it time to dry. I've had mats that, we've tried to take out of a car. We had to warm the car up first because the mats were frozen in a block to the carpet of the floor. So those are all things that, your customer can relate to. Say, look, the interior of your vehicle in the winter actually needs more detailing than in the summer.
And interior ceramic could be a real motivator here. You could do a full detail on your interior, put some interior ceramic there, especially on those carpets, and be protected against, the ice melt sticking to those carpets. Can you talk about the importance of protecting your interior at this time of year? Because again, we're talking about real world, snow, ice, cold. We want to give people things that they can do, aspire to, achieve, be excited about.
Yes. And definitely, the interior ceramic is as far as I'm concerned, it's a must. Once you've had interior ceramic in a vehicle, just like the ceramic on the exterior of the vehicle, you won't go without it on the interior. It makes interior cleaning so much easier. It helps keep the interior cleaner longer. And that salt ring, especially that one, that is a really bad one. And if you have interior ceramic on your carpets, it's going to come out much, much easier. Now, one thing that we have in our lineup to help reduce or help remove that salt ring, that it makes it super easy, is All Clean. Dilute All Clean 15 to 1. Normally on the interior, we'll use it 30 or 60 to 1, but for this instance, we're going to keep it at 15 to 1 and put the nozzle right up against the salt. You don't want to be spraying from a distance. You just want to get that salt ring wet and let it sit there. Let it dwell for 15, 20 minutes, even half an hour. As you're doing the rest of the interior, it's going to break down that salt ring and it will just easily scrape and vacuum away.
That's a great tip. And another one is, if they want to learn how to install interior ceramic, we actually have a how-to video on like how to prep, how to clean, how to prep, and apply interior ceramic. Yep. I'd say it's must-see TV, Ivan. And you can find it right here.